get distracted by what's not right. Like earlier I said cat saying yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to minimize that because it's like, oh no, it's going to, like I said the word, I think, gain 4 times referring to the audio gain. And I kept thinking game.
Yay,
You've just become enamored with the brilliance of your own words.
Yeah.
All right. Hello, everyone in the Twitch universe. As you can see, we are now obsessed with our own closed captions and hopefully will not be too distracted by them as we play the game. Unfortunately, I might be because I keep an eye on the stream. But we'll get used to it soon, I promise. Before we start, I want to remind everyone that there is a Numenera Kickstarter going on right now called Liminal Shores. You can find it by Googling Numenera searching Numenera on Kickstarter or Liminal Shores.
Can you spell that, Megan?
LIMINALSHORES.
I didn't think you had to spell the second word, but okay.
I wanted to make sure that people didn't think I was talking about, like, insurer or something.
Yeah,
but
you didn't specify.
Realistically, anyone who is watching and or listening to us has probably given Monte Cook Games a lot of money already.
Yeah, well.
Just in case, though.
I like giving people chances.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't think we have any other announcements. Oh, our other announcement is the Redacted Files is starting a sort of community feed called Deniable Operations. So if you ever want to record a game session you're playing and then release it for the whole world to enjoy, we will put that on a feed for you, and you don't have to worry about a bunch of the back end of podcasting. So you should join our Discord and find out information there or on our website, theredactedfiles.com, and then go to the Deniable Operations tab.
And
I'm not super active in the Discord, but I do pop in and read, and there are a lot of people who are pretty active in there. So your new best friend could be there.
Yeah.
Yep. And I do believe on the Deniable Operations that on the Discord tab for that particular thing, there are some kind of community guidelines with that. So
yeah. So we've told you what we'll do for you, what we need from you, and hopefully we'll get something up and posted soon.
Yeah. If you want to play Fate or Cypher or GURPS for some reason, there are groups that are looking for players to try those things out and record their games so we can share them with the world.
All right. That's all of that stuff. So, hello and welcome to the Amber Clave, a Numenera Actual Play Podcast. My name is Megan, I'm your GM, and with me today we have Landon.
Hey, and I am playing Garrett, the tough, meddlesome delve who explores yesterday.
Acer.
Hello, this is Ace. I play Rigel Sloan, a stealthy, graceful glaive who fights with a horde.
And Shauna.
Hi, I play Raphael Estelle, who is an imaginative, nurturing nano who murders.
Never gets old.
Amazingly, the closed captioning got most of that spelled correctly.
It did.
Also, I guess Rigel randomly puts GURPS down.
Rigel hates GURPS. That's just how it is.
Don't ask Rigel to play GURPS.
He's more of a, narrative.
GURPS, Megan.
He's more of a narrative gamer, I guess.
I've got to close it. I can't.
Why do you still have it up?
I'm watching the stream, and it says Megan hates GURPS.
The truth comes out.
I'm pretty sure actually Megan does hate GURPS. Anything with 1 second combat rounds, I'm pretty sure Megan is not a fan of.
All right. So last time on the Amber Clave, you saw a bunch of boats approaching the island, and you found out that the people on the boats were refugees from a sinking marteling whale that had a fairly large community of about 60 people on it, who were all at imminent risk of losing their homes to a smelly sinking whale. So,
Megan, can you check your levels?
are they low?
They sound high. You sound like you're on the verge of clipping.
Okay. Is that better?
Yeah.
All right. So they escaped from, so you all headed out to the whale to rescue the remaining people who were gathering belongings. This came as a bonus because your homes had recently been overwhelmed by a bunch of kestrels. A cyclone of kestrels. And so you got some new building material to try to build homes for these new members of your community. And you got new members of your community, which
And
may
a
or
tavern.
may not.
And a tavern.
And a tavern.
What do we name it? The something whale.
The busted whale.
Busted whale.
In memoriam of very smelling Garrett.
Yeah. I think Garrett, he probably showered a bit, still didn't feel clean, and then like just walked on the ocean and like had some of the can't think of a name now, but some Numeneran like cleaner fish equivalent, like pick all this shit off of him.
Just like, go ahead and do some water aerobics for a couple hours. And
Yeah.
Mako would have approved of that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, also, Rigel got in trouble with Dirachel because he back-channeled a request for more boats from the Lost City, including a request for a permanently assigned long-range boat from the Amber Clave, because paddling out in rafts to rescue survivors did not seem like the best solution for our settlement. So he got guard duty, but he didn't mind. He didn't mind because he got to sleep on top of the tower.
Always looking on the bright side. All right. So we will begin with you waking up. Rigel is busy with his guard duty. But everything else is pretty normal for everyone. The new people in town are settling in. There's not much to do as a lot of the construction is wrapping up, though. Fortunately, a problem shows up when one of your favorite friends...
I believe you mean an opportunity. An opportunity shows up.
When one of your favorite friends from Rynach, the Cathons, shows up. It's one you've met before named Ro. Ro has sort of 2 faces and 8 arms. They are a plant expert, and they have a weird flying whale thing that they move about in. That they have come to visit you again.
Okay. There is a lot of panic. Several archers climb up into the tops of buildings to fight off yet another attack, and then it's that weird flying whale thing.
It's a double threat. It's flying and it's a whale.
Oh no. Don't shoot. We know this one.
Ro steps out of the whale, so it's kind of like a hatch opens up in its back and it climbs out. I guess like a tank. Do tanks have like trapdoors in the top of them?
Actually, they have a hatch on the top.
Sure. Okay, so it's like a tank, except it's the back of this whale.
Yeah, I kind of imagine this flying whale thing almost kind of like a more like a sea turtle, but a little narrower. But it does kind of have like a carapace on the top and bottom, like a shell, and either like the bottom of the shell pops down, and that's kind of like a little hatch door, like in the I think they're C-130s, the military planes.
Yeah, those are in the back, or the Galaxy has a like the nose lifts up and the front sort of falls down.
Yeah. In my head, I don't know why I keep envisioning like a weird whale
Or you
that
know,
flies with a turtle
or
shell.
you have like the Millennium Falcon ramp just drop
Yeah.
down.
All right. So Ro emerges, and they are smiling with both of their faces, and they are holding in their hands a seed.
How big is this seed?
It is about the size of a mango.
That is a very large seed, friend.
Yes, I have brought the solution to all your problems.
That is quite a claim. I'm excited to see how it works.
Some new problems.
Is it a fruit bearing tree? Because we really could use more diversity in our diets.
It's better than that.
Oh, well, tell us about it, please.
Is it a meat bearing tree?
Have you encountered one of those before? Can I get a sample?
Well, no, you said it was better than a fruit bearing tree, and I'm trying to think what could be better than a fruit bearing tree, and I'm thinking a meat bearing tree, or is it one of those fabled money trees?
I don't think that you can buy shins off trees, but that would be quite a profitable venture. I will think on how to invent it.
Well, anyway, then, tell us of this new tree.
This is a shooting tree.
Uh,
They look at you for the applause and amazement that you surely are feeling deep in your hearts.
What does it shoot?
Seeds.
Like the size of the one that you're holding?
Some of them, yes.
Sounds like
So-
a very dangerous tree.
Yes. Well, I wouldn't recommend planting it in the middle of your lovely community here.
So it's an attack tree.
I suppose it could be, but what it shoots is a diverse range of plants. So wherever the pods land, there'll be some grass that can grow there, or some fruit trees maybe, or perhaps some vegetables. I'm not really sure. It sort of depends on the resources it finds in your soil.
Is there perhaps a danger that we might end up with carnivorous trees?
Of course.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that was a possibility that we should be aware of. I do come from a place where they do have carnivorous trees.
I mean, maybe carnivorous trees would have helped us out with the cyclone, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might have been, or you know, with those people who don't like immigrants.
Oh, that's true.
We could have fed them to the trees.
Um,
Never mind. I didn't say that.
You could always send them to us. We would be happy to help them improve themselves.
That doesn't sound ominous at all. Awkward silence lasts at least 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, so where would you recommend we plant this tree? And how long will it take to grow? Because, it is just a seed.
Well, it will take a little while to grow, at least 2 days.
Wow.
But then it will grow much slower. I brought some special fertilizer.
I'm guessing the fertilizer is also dangerous.
It's very flammable.
Oh, we have another shipment of that stuff to give you, incidentally.
Yeah.
Which stuff?
Catches fire easily, improves production times.
I wrote down the name of it and I lost it somewhere.
Thom dust.
Thom dust, that's it.
Yeah, Thom dust. You were interested in that, right?
Yes, very interested. Excellent, excellent. Well,
All right.
maybe on top of a hill would be the best place to plant this.
All right. Do any of us have any skills other than perception to help with this? Oh, yeah. Doesn't Garrett have eye for details?
Perception, specialized.
Wow, there you go. Just perception then.
Yeah, survival, sensing danger.
Wow. This is
Yeah.
perfect. Where do we put it, Garrett?
Let's see. Would Garrett know of a place in his kind of exploration of the island that's I'm going to say in my head maybe a fairly remote-ish hill that's at least not too far of a walk from the or too far of a hike from the actual Hope, but maybe there's enough distance where there's not going to be like a barrage of seeds hitting our wall or the guard tower.
Yeah, so there are several hills nearby. So Ro recommends planting on top of the hill so that the seeds are sort of spreading a little bit further.
Okay.
There's one that has pretty good sunlight and doesn't get hit as bad by any of the storms you have endured so far.
All right. Well, I think I know of a decent hill that we could plant this on. Gets a pretty decent amount of sun. Not doesn't get hit too heavily from some of the storms.
Are we going to have to hit the glass with a pickaxe or something?
Yes, you will have to dig through the glass to plant the seed.
All right.
I assume you have a plan.
We have some extra Thom dust.
Yeah.
Exciting.
I also have excavation tools that could help chip away the glass.
So what I would suggest is that we use the excavation tool to crack the glass, and then we stick some Thom dust into the crack, kind of like how they used to create plugs, and then they'd fill them with gunpowder to do tunneling.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, I can do something like that.
I'm gonna. Bye.
Yeah.
Having suggested this terribly dangerous plan, I'm going to stand far away.
Yeah, so I guess we'll hike up to the hill, find a decent, fairly level spot on this hill that this seed can be planted, and I'll try to start cracking the glass, and then try to make a hole so that we can plant this seed.
All right, give me some sort of roll to make a good hole in the glass.
Let's see. As far as any skills, I'm not really salvaging Numenera at the moment. It's either that or I guess survival, maybe?
Survival would be good.
Okay. So I am trained in survival, and I'm going to go ahead and use effort on this. Okay. All right, that's a 12 on the roll.
All right. So it takes a little bit of work, but with Rigel's planning and your survival skills, you're able to break up some of the rock glass and plant this seed. Ro will drop their fertilizer on it, which how with really hot fires you get that sort of heat shimmer above things. You get that sort of shimmer in the air above the fertilizer. but it doesn't. There's not like it's on fire, but or feels hot. But you still see it giving off this weird shimmer.
Yeah, the weird kind of like heat distortion wave kind of thing.
I'm going to round up some members of our, town militia and make sure that nobody messes with this. Just like post somebody there to like shoot people away from it if they get too close.
Garrett also will any of these shards of glass, if they're of decent size from making the hole that we did, he's going to gather them up because maybe they can get used to make either some cutting utensils, or maybe we have some artisans that want to make stuff with it, potentially to trade later on with other people that find themselves on the iron island.
We're looking forward to that grand day when we become a tourist trap.
Yeah.
Well, we've been handling like bare minimum survival stuff, so it makes sense that we would need to start providing some sort of outlet. We've got a tavern now, so now maybe we can foster the arts a little bit.
Maybe we can get a cottage industry in
Yep.
Maybe we can get a pressure pot and get some dice. We can.
Yeah.
But we will not play GURPS because Rigel does not like GURPS.
All right. So Ro sort of claps their hands and says, "This is excellent. Where am I going to be staying?"
You want to stay?
Yes, I am going to be your cultural minister from Rynach.
Cultural minister. See, I knew we needed to build the palace first.
That's fair enough. I have to warn you that our accommodations are somewhat limited.
I'm sure you have something that is appropriate.
I will point to one of the huts. That's. I am not exaggerating in the least when I say that is the best accommodation available on the island.
Yeah.
Oh, I just assumed you had much more of the city built underground that was finer.
You have witnessed how difficult it was for us to dig a 6-inch hole. I am terribly sorry, but for the time being, the settlement is somewhat rudimentary.
That's fine. I will build my own later.
Yeah, and since the volcano's still kind of, sort of active, we don't trust ourselves to dig. You don't want to, I guess, dig into like a lava tube or something and create another issue entirely.
Can't you see where they are?
Some yes, others no.
How dangerous. Fascinating.
Yes, you see, in some places they have, where there looks to be a ship under you, but when you cut into it, immediately below the deck, lava tube.
You really picked a terrible place to build your home.
It was not by choice. It is our responsibility to safeguard the people here.
And I will be happy to teach them about methods of self-improvement.
This
Okay.
can only go well.
My thoughts exactly.
All right.
So Ro will settle into the hut. They have their supper at the Busted Whale. And they will begin proselytizing about improving oneself by, upgrades.
At dinner?
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to use your mouth to eat food. It is a very backwards way to do things.
Away from Ro, I tried to talk to Garrett and Rigel. Is this something we are okay with?
Well, I think the problem is that whether we're okay with it or not, the town is going to lose their minds over this.
Yeah, and we don't really have the resources for a lot of the modifications. I mean, we're still in huts and barracks, so adding 6 arms is not. What are we gonna make those arms out of?
I figure for any of those upgrades, if people are that interested in it, they can go with her back to
Rynach.
back to Rynach. Because yeah, we don't have the resources here. I don't even think we've built a hospital yet.
We have an aid station. I was more worried about the people who are going to be paranoid and or terrified that Rynach is going to take over here.
Mm.
Because if they're proselytizing, at the dinner table, then it doesn't seem like they're going to take our residents' cultural sensibilities into it.
Well, maybe that's something.
This is an Indira problem.
Yeah, that's an Indira problem. I think to maybe work out something where if people want to hear about upgrading themselves, maybe between certain hours they go to Rose Hut.
Yeah, so I'm going to message Indira on the mesh and say, I have learned my lesson. Orate. There are problems that have, that have to be handled through the appropriate channels. And we have a minor diplomatic situation that is developing at the Busted Whale. Could you please represent to Ro the cultural sensitivity of the situation they are creating? And meanwhile, we will maintain a low profile so as not to escalate the situation.
That is very mature of you, Rigel. I'm so glad that you are developing a good sense of how this community is structured.
Yes, ma'am. I'm very happy to support you in any way I can.
Now, she's going to regret this agreement that she should handle this problem later, as she has to listen to Ro, but you have won for now.
Two can play at this game, Indira.
She does eventually, you see her escorting Ro out of the Busted Whale and back to their hut, patting them on one of their shoulders and being like, that makes great sense. I'm sure we can discuss that at some point.
Does she shoot me a dirty look as she goes by?
Yes.
That's fair. That's fair.
Can't win, Rigel.
I did nothing wrong, though. She can't punish me.
No.
All right. So are you guys doing watches still?
I'm participating in the watch schedule and the schedule.
I would also be participating in a watch schedule.
Yeah, same with me.
I don't feel like we can let our guards down, especially now that we have a whole lot of new people, some of whom were not the most agreeable.
I do ask for volunteers from the new arrivals to join our militia or our town guard, but keep them up so that they're paired with established members.
All right. Why don't you give me a roll for your recruitment pitch?
All right. Of all the crappy food we get, you get the most. Nat 20.
Wow, the food must really suck here.
wonder if we can cook those seeds.
Speaking of, has it been 2 days yet?
We will get to that. So you do have about 20 people join the watch schedule from the whale colony, the Visay people, I guess. They are more than happy to be paired off with the Citizens of Hope.
I do attempt to pair people off with folks they will get along with.
Good.
So that we are establishing ties between the two communities as quickly as possible. And we do things like team building exercises.
What is one of the team building exercises you do?
Oh, we're going to race the rafts.
Oh, okay. Is there any three-legged races?
Oh, yeah.
Trust falls?
Yes.
At the end, it's just Rigel leading them as Raphael and Garrett are like, I don't have to be here for this.
I'm pretty sure they're going to disappear before like the 5-mile run up the volcano and back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, we're going to do team build. Raphael is gone.
Yeah. Garrett would have already ducked out with probably Orla and Rosa like, we're going to go explore some more of the island now.
Yep.
No, and you know, the you're going to have the pull-ups.
Oh, this sounds more like boot camp than team building exercises. All right. So you have been building a much stronger guard force. So when you are standing watch that night, Rigel, and there start being explosive gun-like sounds in the distances, not everyone just panics.
That's great.
What do you do?
I think I will go to Rose Hut and knock on the door.
It's the middle of the night.
I would have thought that a superior being with so many improvements wouldn't need to sleep.
Oh, shade.
That's not how this works. As everyone knows, sleep is the most important part of maintaining a higher brain function.
Is that the shooting tree?
It sounds like it.
Should we be concerned?
Only if someone gets hit.
All right. I will issue helmets. Thank you.
What do your helmets look like here?
Oh, they're stained crab shells.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a mixture of crab shells and like coconut husks or something.
At least if you get that like coconut oil in your hair, and everyone's hair is really shiny.
Just silky smooth.
All right. Are you going to investigate at all, or are you just going to stay away from the exploding tree?
We're gonna give that some time. I mean, like,
What?
at
Wanna go
least
see what set it off?
no.
Garrett?
I think we're gonna want to wait until at least daybreak. That way, when someone gets hit and falls down the mountain, we can find them.
I was going to say Garrett though, it's too much of like for him, it's too much of an excitement thing, like something new. So like Garrett, I know at least would probably even during the night try to like carefully make his way up there just to see maybe what direction it might be shooting, or part of me thinks it may just be shooting in like one direction, but then there's the other part of me that's thinking this seed tree, however it grew, it's like going all like wacky inflatable tube man thing, just shooting in all types of directions.
Okay, so I imagine that Rigel is coordinating people, making sure everyone gets a helmet, trying to make sure nobody goes off, and then he's like, "Where's Garrett and Raffaella?"
Yeah, we're not participating in your trust falls. We already told you.
Crix, you're in charge. Make sure nobody else runs off, and I'll go follow.
So we tried to sneak up and get not
See
within
this-
range, but close enough to see what was in range.
Yeah.
All right. So you sorry. I was trying to look up the name of the tree that I'm basing this on. It's called a sandbox tree, if anyone wants to Google that. It looks like a really tall tree with spikes that point out of the side. And so you see a very small one of these, and as you watch, it starts shooting the spikes out as they seem to finish growing. The spikes are like smaller versions of that seed he brought, and it looks like after a while, after they land, they start splitting and rooting down into the ground.
Okay, this looks like it will eventually be a serious problem.
I agree. Ro didn't think this would happen.
I think Ro knew exactly what was going to happen, but did not think it was a big deal.
The plants that you do see growing don't all look the same.
Oh,
So we can tell that, oh, that's some type of a grass. Oh, that is some type of flowering plant. Oh, that looks like it might be a tree that might make fruits or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's a violent way to have some seed dispersal of stuff we could harvest later, but yeah, might need to keep our eye on it. I mean,
And keep other people away from it.
yeah, may need to take note if it shoots another version of itself somewhere else.
That's a problem I'm not looking forward to. But Megan, despite the fact that I really want more XP so I can level up, I'll give you an XP for it to shoot another version of itself.
You don't have to do that because it's definitely going to be spreading itself.
Okay.
Otherwise, you guys would have to carry like seeds around and plant them by yourself. So this is really the best way.
All right.
hey,
At some
Ro.
point,
Slow your roll.
Season 3, Episode 20, The Evacuation.
How can we make this massive volcano island even cooler? Yes, let's fill it with explosive trees.
Just imagine, an Amber Clave detachment with M oil flamethrowers trying to hold back the trees as we get the last people off the island. Okay, well. Okay, so is everyone's curiosity satisfied? I'll say a little put upon.
I'm good for now.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think we can still get a few hours sleep.
You do hear the exploding sounds through the night, so you're going to have to fall asleep despite of them, or in spite of them.
No, I'm pretty sure I at least have earplugs by now.
What are Ninth World earplugs like?
Scratchy.
I was thinking they'd be like a slug or something.
I was thinking they'd just be plant matter, or like a cotton.
That's fair. I guess you probably have cotton somewhere. All right. So the challenge in the morning is children have discovered this exploding tree, and they love it.
Of course they do.
So your one guard who is standing watching the tree, Rigel, sends for help at some point because there's too many kids trying to touch the tree and run away without getting shot by it.
All right. So half tempted to foist this off on Indira as well, as this seems more like a community problem.
Wow, this is like
But
the best form of protest. You're right, Indira. This is not my place. I would not want to step on your toes.
It's like the civil military divide. We have to respect that some problems are, entirely the purview of civil authority. But I will grab as many children as I can and take them to their parents.
All right. Indira rings the bell. Let's see how many times. One time. To get people to gather and tries to explain the dangers of the shooting tree and why everyone needs to stay away from it. And if you see any new shooting trees, she says, please inform someone immediately so we can make sure that they are not going to hurt anyone else. Ro waves to the community, ready to accept your adulation for this amazing development.
Ro, could you explain something to me, please?
Yes, of course.
Based on the spread of the shooting trees, how long will it be before the entire surface of the island is covered in trees?
Well, it actually won't be very quickly because it won't grow that quickly without the fertilizer. I can get you more if you want them.
No. I think we have our answer. We were just a little concerned that the island would become uninhabitable within like a week or something.
Oh no, we love having you as neighbors.
It's nice. That's really nice. Isn't it nice, Indira?
It's wonderful.
I'm gonna make this woman hate me. Wait, I've already succeeded. Never mind.
All right. So Ro is happily settling in town. The tree is shooting off, so you can't really get close to investigate a lot of the plants that it is growing, but it is going to start slowing down as the fertilizer sort of runs out.
Good to know.
Ro will explain to anyone at the Busted Well how ingenious this shooting tree is, and then segue into how, just like the tree is improving this island, we too can improve ourselves.
I'm going to suggest to Indira that she post a notice that says that remaining on the island releases, it constitutes a release of liability.
Wow, this sounds very legal.
Does she go for it?
Yes.
Does anyone leave?
No.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
As the exploding tree is dying down, your dear friend Karanin shows up with a new submarine for you. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get you a submarine because those are very rare. But they do have like a 4-person submarine.
Okay. Well, that's better than nothing.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So what's the difference between a submarine and a submergine?
A submarine is mechanical. A submergine has that creature living in the hull that takes care of the recycling of air and water and food.
Produces that nutrient paste.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it like what powers the submarine?
Kelp.
do we have to like pedal it?
No.
Does it run on coal?
It runs on plant matter. Coal probably would help it, but you don't really have access to coal.
All right. Well, hey, guess what? We have new, suddenly spontaneous plant matter emerging from the ground.
Yeah.
True.
But I'm guessing it'll be far easier to harvest kelp or something.
Yeah, at least until, the plant spreads a little further or something.
Yeah, until those trees get really big.
Well, especially if it like can harvest kelp as we're traveling in it too.
Yeah.
Like pull it out of the water as we're traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Karanon, thank you so much. This will make a huge difference.
Now we can go find a whale.
Is the island about to erupt?
No, although it does still erupt on a fairly regular basis. You're hearing trees exploding.
Is that normal? I know I haven't spent much time on the land, but that seems abnormal.
That's normal here.
Is he pacing around his apothecary?
Yeah, showing off.
Like a
I
show
love
horse.
Karen.
Yeah,
Mhm.
He's like doing dressage.
there's a couple of jumps involved.
Yeah, I think we're getting used to it. It's a new method of seeding.
Ah, well, that seems very fancy.
Oh, there's someone I want you to meet, and I introduced Karen on to Ro,
Oh my god.
and then run off.
Ro at first thinks the apothecary is an improvement that octopus has taken upon themselves. And then, upon learning a little bit more, they decide that the apothecary is instead a primitive gwyn, which is basically what that flying whale thing is. It's a experimented upon bioenhanced mount. So,
Sounds like an oversized apothecary.
yeah, it basically is, except less hideous.
That's saying something.
So Gwyn and Ro get along wonderfully.
You mean you mean Karanon and Ro?
Sorry, Karanon and Ro. The Gwyn and Ro also get along famously, but the Gwyn and Ro and Karanon also become BFFs.
Because Karanon has like 4 mechanical arms, right?
Yes.
Has Karen ever encountered Ro and Ro's people?
No, Karanon, they mostly avoided over here.
Huh.
Because
Ro's people, they've been here a while, right?
Yes.
yeah, but they were on the other side of the nullified harbor, and stuff that went to the nullified harbor just kind of disappeared. So because of the lost city.
Yep.
So they're kind of a lost people that are being found again.
Yes.
Huh. Well, that's kind of cool to think about.
All right. So to end the session, I wanted to force you 3 to be creative with me.
Okay.
Good start.
Yeah. This tree is shooting seeds into ground that is full of weird stuff that was buried beneath the ocean, including ciphers and ships and weird creatures. So I wanted you to work together to come up with one crazy plant that is now going to become native to the harbor.
Oh my gosh.
I think
man.
it produces luminous fruit.
Okay, so there's glowing fruit growing on this plant.
Really? You don't think we should aim for something bigger?
Well, no, I think I think from what Megan said, we each are contributing something about. This
Oh, I
tree.
thought we were like all coming up with one. I'm like, thinking of everything that's under the ocean.
Yeah, so bioluminescent fruit.
Okay.
No, Bernie, it's not gonna be durian.
Flex is so dead, Bernie.
All right, so we have glowing fruit. Does it grow on a tree?
Oh, I thought you said it was a tree.
No, it's just a plant.
Okay.
I'm
Are
good
they
with-
like big fruits or are they like plum sized?
Watermelon sized.
Okay, watermelon sized bioluminescent fruits.
A lot of light.
You can just use it to light up your house. You don't even have to use a glow globe.
Yeah, and can you imagine how that's going to look on the glass volcano?
That'd be pretty awesome.
It sounds really awesome.
Yeah, does the bioluminescent like fade after a while, or is it like constant? Like even if you plucked it, or if it fell off the. In my head, it's a tree.
Mhm.
Producing this.
I assume once it falls off the tree or is plucked from the tree, it starts to dim.
Okay.
Because it's not receiving, like
Nutrients.
nutrients from the tree.
Okay.
But it is glow. It does glow, and then you still have. The weird thing about the volcano is that there's still lava flowing through this largely translucent mountain. So it really lights up at night, which is kind of beautiful, but also really eerie. And now there are these glowing orbs that are floating in the air.
Yeah.
Not just the fruit. Like the fruit, I think glows one color, but in my head too, like I think the flowers before it fruits, like those should be bioluminescent as well.
Guys, we need to open a sandals here. We could be so rich.
So like, is the whole fruit edible, or is it just like the flesh or the seeds? Do you glow when you eat it too soon?
I don't have the answers to those questions, but I think we should call it thumb fruit.
Thumb fruit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think as far as the fruit itself, that I kind of like it to kind of all be usable. I think like almost like a watermelon, at least like the flesh inside is going to be like completely edible. And then the seeds, I think could go either or. Like I kind of like the thought of the seeds being like you could eat them if you want to. It's not going to hurt anything. But
Maybe you can roast them.
Yeah, I like the theory of you could roast it, or it kind of being something like we discover like wheat. Like it could be ground up into like flour, potentially fermented, if you wanted to produce other things.
It's not gonna like grow in your stomach like a baby.
Yeah, yeah.
Like watermelon seeds do.
Watermelon seeds absolutely do.
And then I kind of like the thought maybe of the outer skin kind of being a bit thick, and while it's easy to cut into, if you dry that skin, maybe it kind of gets like a leather-like consistency almost.
Yeah, I was thinking it would be cool if the skin could do something unique too. And a leather substitute does sound like a cool idea, and you could like stitch it together to
Yeah, I mean, it may
make
take
things.
quite a bit of fruit but it is kind of like at least a leather-like substitute if it's dried and cured properly. And in my head, I cannot remember, but I want to say like in my head, this is a tree that you can kind of harvest the bark in a way where it's not going to like kill the tree. Like you can like shave off segments, and the bark can be used almost like a paneling if you wanted to, and it have some durability. Not like something like aluminum alloy or something like synth or anything like that. But it could be something that you could shave off and stack together or line with something to maybe give stuff a little more durability.
I was thinking maybe it would have some sort of conductive property.
That works too.
Okay. Does anything happen when you eat the fruit?
I'm gonna go with yes. If you eat it too soon, your eyes start to glow.
I like that.
Yeah, because then if it's ripe, then nothing happens.
What about like Acer who likes to eat unripe fruit with salt? Do your eyes glow then, Acer?
Outing all my secrets, yes.
Yep.
We all know about your unripe fruit thing now.
Actually, I think Megan's complained about that on Twitter before.
I get all his family's nectarines whenever they're like slightly ripe. They're like, yeah, you're like eating this rotten fruit. And I'm like, no, it's ripe.
It's ripe.
Oh, also, it's easily fermented.
Okay.
And produces terrific cocktails.
Yeah.
It already has that great fruity flavor.
Yeah. I like the thought of the fruit part being something that you can ferment, but then the seeds as well. Like I said, it being kind of something we could use as like a wheat to make flour based stuff.
Yeah.
Baked goods and whatnot.
Fruit.
Yeah.
So does it have like big seeds or like watermelon seed size?
I think they're kind of like watermelon seed size. Like grinding them up is a bit tough and labor intensive, but it's doable. And then like if you toast them, that it might be weaken them up a little bit, so then you can kind of eat them like a sunflower seed type thing or a pumpkin seed kind of thing.
All right. What does it look and smell like?
Very sweet.
I'm sort of imagining that it's blue, but
that works.
Yeah, it's a big melon, so like a light blue melon.
Yeah, I think
I'm imagining like it's like those light blue bowling balls.
Yeah, I think the fruit itself is it like the exterior covering on it is it's like varying shades of blue.
all right.
Like I think it probably goes from like when it's unripe, depending on whose standards. When it's unripe, it's probably like a pretty light blue,
Like the baby blue.
Yeah, baby blue, or even kind of like a sky blue. And then when it's in kind of, depending again, frame of reference, and kind of the ripe range, it's more of like a trying to think,
Powder blue.
Yeah, something a little bit darker. But then when it's kind of like past kind of the window of like optimal sweetness and all that, it goes into more of like your darker navy blue kind of thing.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's going to the distillery.
Yeah.
All right. So there is a lot of normal plants growing on the island, but there is also unique to you thom fruit.
But the flowers are purple.
Okay, purple flowers.
Glowing blue melons with purple flowers.
Yeah.
All right, we
And it
finally
probably
have
attracts,
something.
like big butterflies too.
We finally have something we can eat that people want to eat.
Yeah, we need to send some of this to some of the bigger cities so we can get some attention for it.
No, we need to cultivate it first, or otherwise we'll end up like that. Like the having an agave shortage.
Yeah.
All right. So we are going to end it with thom fruit. I'm going to give you all 2 XP for some creative problem solving. And I think we're only going to do 1 episode today because I'm still recovering from an ear infection.
Oh no.
Oh.
Dumb swimming finally brought me down.
Aw. 1 episode is fine with me.
That's
But
good.
thank you everyone for listening. And I hope that you can let us know some other weird plants that start growing on the island. Until, let's see. This is Megan. I've been your GM. You can find me on Twitter at Curium247 or tweet for the podcast at TRF Podcast. With me today, I've had Shauna.
I was playing Raphael Estelle, the imaginative, nurturing nano who murders, and you can find me on Twitter at CallMeShauna.
Landon.
Hey, and I've been playing Garrett, the tough, meddlesome delve who explores yesterday. You can find me on Twitter at solemn_Lyrian.
And Easter.
This is Acer. I was playing Rigel Sloan, the graceful, stealthy glaive who fights with a horde, and you can find me on Twitter at Acer_Tolentino.
All right. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you again next time. Until then, yay to see.
Yay to see.
I enjoy all the different